seen what is happening to the Uber and Lyft stock. Lyft down 27%. Uber trading after hours at $28. What is going on? What is going on at Uber and Lyft? Has Wall Street, have the traders lost faith in the stock? You got to ask yourself that question. It's a real, valid question. Have investors, has the financial world lost faith in Uber and Lyft when you start seeing these numbers, right? And they're just announcing their earnings, and it looks terrible, shocking. Now, for me, there's only one solution. After all these years, these CEOs, I call them BSOs, have had the chance to prove themselves, and they've proven nothing. They have proven that they are not capable of running a national, international rideshare company or food delivery company. The decisions, the understanding of this leadership is atrocious. It's so sad and it's so poor what's going on within these companies that the time has come. The time has come. If these investors want to save their sinking ship, the time has come to change the leadership. Dara Khosrowshahi needs to go down. Has zero understanding of the business. Lyft CEO and the founder, I mean, step aside. Let other people run the company, right? And today, I got to say, I was fortunate to actually have a really good conversation with a lady, right? Her name is Leatherberry, Mrs. Leatherberry, and she is one of the senior policy people, upper management at Uber. And I actually had a good conversation with this lady, right? Because she is genuinely trying. You know, you can vibe out a person if they're just feeding you BS, right? If some spokesman for Uber or Lyft is just serving the regular BS to the media just to try and save face. No, but this lady, I could feel, genuinely wanted to do something. And so I said, if you want to do something constructive for these companies, you know, if you really want to turn the stock price around, you have to convey something that might be hard to swallow to your brass, to your top brass, and that is Dara Khosrowshahi. Do you have the guts? Do you have it within you to be brutally honest to your leadership, right? After you get the feedback from the drivers, from the streets, and this lady's in Philadelphia, right? And in Philadelphia, things are falling apart, right? The Philadelphia drivers deserve better. They don't deserve to be driving in an environment where there's zero safety, where they have to constantly look over their backs, where they have to constantly worry who may be in their car. And you know what? She acknowledged that. And I'm pushing out the 2 videos tomorrow. I recorded it. I don't really care if they get back to me and say, hey, you know what, that material, you cannot put it out on the internet. I made 2 videos which I'm pushing out tomorrow. One is 14 minutes and one is 10 minutes. And that was my discussion. This lady wanted to talk to me. She found me on the internet. And she said, wow, it sounds like you really connect with the drivers. What do you think are the problems? Well, the problems that I'm about to tell you, lady, and I was nice to her. I did most of the speaking because, you know, I had to share the issues with her. And then afterwards she said, I still want these one-on-one conversations with you, right? Let's address this, let's address safety, let's address deactivations. And I said, my phone lines, my email is open, contact me, right? We would like to help you make this company better. We would like to help you turn this company around. We would like to help you see the stock at $70. But when you look at today, 28, it was 29 and went down to $28. Lyft plunged 27%. It's because they're having an issue, recruiting drivers. And that's pretty obvious when every single day, and this, I really want to bring this across to the investors and the financial world and Wall Street. You guys and girls that are involved, when you represent your clients and you got to make these investments on behalf of your clients, and you look at the Uber stock and you say, I'm not sure. The Lyft, I don't know. It's too volatile. Doesn't look promising. All over the map, going in all directions. Consistent leadership, right? So it's not something that you really recommend to your client if you are a broker, if you're a financial broker, or if you're a trader, right? It's a stock I would not recommend to a friend, to a family member. Hey, by the way, you should buy into Uber and Lyft. Knowing too much about this company, knowing how they treat their labor force, how they treat drivers, knowing how they burn through people, knowing how they treat food delivery drivers, I don't have much hope for the Uber and Lyft stock, right? And it comes to no surprise to me that Lyft plunged 27% and Uber's going to follow suit, right? They constantly try to dig themselves out of the mess. And the reoccurring theme, and this is truly why the CEO and both CEOs need to go. They need fresh leadership that understands this business, right? The one thing is, you can't be involved in lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, class action, because you're constantly involved in trying to bullshit, right, your riders and drivers to extract as much money. Then you get caught with your pants down. You end up in court and you're settling, right? When will they turn the page and actually start doing some ethical business so they stay out of court? That's the one thing that I conveyed. The other thing is, if you have safety issues, stabbings, murders, rapes, sexual harassment, a woman being shot in the head, carjackings every single day on multiple TV channels, and you are not willing to do something about it, and you believe that your safety or your security of your drivers and riders is enough, then you are truly mismanaging. You are not managing this company or seeing the fundamental problem, right? And as that you have a massive, massive safety issue. People are scared, and the problem has been presented to you 100 times over, and that is that you let everyone on the platform. It is too easy to get on the platform as a thug. It is too easy to get back onto the platform if you've been reported for sexual harassment. 1 week later, you're back on the platform, right? So if you cannot plug those holes, if you cannot fix the problem, guess what? You're going to be on the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock news every single day. And the public is going to see this horrific killing, this horrific, unsafe ride-share world. That is what they're going to see. That is what Wall Street's going to see. That is what the financial world is going to see. So for those people who tell me, they're trying to pump the stock up, and it's great, it's fantastic, you have no clue what you're talking about. I'm talking about real things, Mr. Financial Guy or Mrs. Financial Lady, right? That you are not willing to look at and accept, and that is that the companies have fundamental flaws that are not being fixed, and that they have extremely poor leadership, right? Another big one. How can you just deactivate and let your veteran drivers go? Don't you look into the fact that they've been driving for you for 5-6 years, right? And that they have a 4.95 or 5-point rating? Doesn't that mean anything to you? So one false report, oh, he smelled like marijuana, and you are letting go of a 4.95 rated driver. I drove this point home with this senior policy lady, Mrs. Leatherberry, right? And again, I recorded it. I did not ask for the permission. I truly don't care if the legal department calls me tomorrow. This stuff needs to be put out there, right? You know, in a way, you look at today's news where they leaked the Roe versus Wade, right? The Supreme Court rulings, which was supposed to come out in July, they leaked it out. This conversation with this lady has to be put out there on the internet, right? People need to listen to someone that wants to change things, but maybe is up against leadership that is not keen on change. Mark, how are you doing, my friend? Las Vegas in the house, I welcome you. We got 17 people. It's a Tuesday night. I'm on the streets. The streets look very, very empty. I'm in LA. Got a couple of private clients, doing another quick trip in between private clients, and should be done by about 11 o'clock tonight. So I figured I'd push out this video quickly. It's there, you know, it has to be reported on, and that is that the Uber and Lyft stock are performing terribly. And we have to start looking at why these stocks are performing terribly, right? The companies are all over the show, all over the map. They have no control of their costs. Their class action and lawsuits are spiraling out of control every single day. Multiple horrific stories in the media, and they're wondering why the public doesn't have faith. And they're wondering why Wall Street and the financial world are losing faith in the stock. If you do not address the problems, Mr. CEO of both these companies, your company will spiral downwards. Got Uber Jeep Arizona in the house. Phoenix got his BMW 330i. Beautiful car. Beautiful. I've had that 330i. Beautiful car. And in fact, most of the day I was driving around in an M4, right, today, having a lot of fun, speeding around town in an M4. Went to Santa Monica for a big lunch. Invited all my staff. Back in the day when I had a online rental company, I represented over 2 million apartment rentals nationwide. I took some of my former managers that were with me 20 years ago. I took them out for lunch. We had a reunion today to see maybe if we can collaborate again on other things. But it was a very, very special moment for me to reunite with a lot of my former managers that I employed 20 years ago. You know, 20 years ago. These guys and girls are amazing, absolutely amazing. And we had so much fun. I sort of wished in a way that I'd maybe had made a live feed, right? I'm gonna try and park it because there's some light. I'm very close to the Commons in Calabasas right now. But I welcome all 27 people that are in the live stream. Probably a couple of other live streams going on right now, because usually we have 50 to 100 people in the live stream. We have 9 thumbs up. If you can smash that button, would be much appreciated. We are going to keep on calling out these companies. We are going to keep on holding them responsible. We're going to keep on holding feet over the fire, because we are simply not going to let them get away with the BS that they try and pull on us, right? And it is my job, it is our job to get the stories out in social media. If Lyft comes down 27%, Mark Bujagas in the house, if, you know, the stock plunges 27%, well, that should tell you quite a bit, right? 27% in one day. The stock plunged. Go and have a look at what the Lyft stock is doing. Straight down. D Guerrero in the house. How you doing, my brother? I like he's got the gloves on, right? We need to strap those gloves on and get, and we're in the ring. I mean, we're in the ring. This is a 15-round fight, and we just keep on going. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. Scott Tucker, very good to see you, man. I haven't made live streams for quite a while. I was really, really sick for 2 weeks. I got the COVID. I recuperated, got out of that. I feel great, got my energy back again. I don't have any side effects or lingering effects. I feel on top of the world, spending a lot of time with my family, my wife, my kids. Went traveling a little bit. And God knows where I picked it up. Maybe I picked it up from one of my clients in the car, but there was sort of a time where everybody started taking their masks off. And, I don't know where I picked it up, but I got it. It hit me hard and I was in bed for a long time, but all power's back, man. Got the mouthpiece going back again. You don't really feel like talking when you have COVID. Everything, your chest is sore, fucking head is pounding, feels like a jackhammer, and you don't really feel like making live streams. Right now, I feel like getting back into the mix. Got my mojo back, drinking aqua here, and I just feel like, we gotta report on these things, because this is big, I mean, to drop 27%, there's something fundamentally wrong. There's something not right. We've got 37 people in the house, 20 thumbs up, and it's truly time that these CEOs step down. If the investors, if Wall Street, if the financial world, if those traders out there or those brokers cannot see, right, what the public is seeing in the media, what the people are experiencing, what the newspapers are writing about, right? If they blind and they pretending that all of these problems simply don't exist, they're living in an alternative world, they're living in another universe. We've got to bring them back here and say, this is what's going on. And I just want to say thank you to Mrs. Leatherberry. She's a senior policy director at Uber. She spoke to me today, and I said to her, Mrs. Leatherberry, do I have permission to be brutally honest with you? Because I don't hold back. I'm going to tell you stuff you may not want to like to hear, right? And she said, you have permission to be brutally honest with me, and you'll see those 2 videos tomorrow morning. And I want to say thanks to the driver in Philadelphia. I don't really want to mention his name, but he's a hero in my eyes. He's the one that facilitated this phone call. Charles Byron in the house. Lyft went down 27%. Well, yeah. Why do you think its financial results fail to meet analysts' expectations, right? How does that come about? When you do not meet the expectation, that means that there's something fundamentally wrong within the company. There's certain things that these CEOs are doing that are not working. And they do not, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to sound arrogant. I do not want to sound like the know-it-all. Really don't. But they do not know what they are doing. They are burning through drivers, right? Because they have this ridiculous wrongful deactivation system in place that kicks any good driver out. There is no vetting platform. There is no appeals platform. And I said to this lady, I said, Mrs. Leatherberry, when you have a driver that has committed to your company for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and has done 25,000 trips and is 4.95 rated and has been consistent and has made you a shitload of money, why the fuck do you deactivate them over a wrongful rider report where one rider says, oh, he smelled like marijuana, right? And I'm going to be making a video about Sergio. Sergio does a lot of great work for Harry Campbell and has a lot of great articles, right? And he has been threatened, over I don't know if he even got deactivated or if he's been threatened with the deactivation. Shame on the companies if they do not understand that they have diamonds and gems, right? If I am running a company, as I've done many times before, and I'm currently doing right now, I keep my good people. I know how to treat my good people. I advance my good people. I give them raises. I raise the level. I give them promotions, right? Because I know I have value, right? You have loyalty. You have competent, hardworking people. Why should they not earn? Why the fuck are you deactivating these people, Mrs. Leatherberry? I didn't use the word F-U-C-K because she was actually a very sweet lady, right? And she said, I am genuinely trying. And I said, listen, you have to be brutally honest with the top brass. You have to tell Dara, even if it's going to cost you your job, you have to be honest and tell them that they are messing up here. They are messing up here. They have no clue on safety. They don't know how to handle deactivations. They are not assisting the drivers with proper gas. You are not doing anything for the driver, and you are ripping off the rider, right? You have this insane imbalance at the moment that is just wreaking havoc, causing chaos within your company. And you don't even have the tools. You don't even know how to fix these things, right? I said, I would love to help you fix them, but you got to pay me, right? I'm going to do one by one, And I said to her, facilitate a meeting between me and Dara. I will tell Dara straight to his face that he has no fucking clue what he's doing. I don't care about his education and where he came from before. This business, he doesn't understand. He's not a people's person. He is not willing to get onto the level and connect with the 5 million people that are working in this industry and that are shoveling the cash and bringing the cash to the headquarters to pay those salaries investors, right? They do not know how to run. Zubair's in the house. He says, hi all, can you live in Tijuana and work UberX in San Diego? That is a really, really good question, right? What I would do, if you can live inexpensively in Tijuana, if you can get yourself a San Diego address, right, and maybe a California driver's license, then you would be able to go over the border daily. I've been over the border many a time, San Diego, Tijuana. It's easy, right? So if you are saving money in Tijuana, right, and your residency is there, and you have a second residency and a driver's license in California, of course that should be possible. Interesting question. I've never seen that one. But back to the topic. Why does Lyft plunge 27%? As that gentleman said, Zubair said, because they are not meeting the expectations of the financial world, right? The numbers are not healthy, right? The indicators that they're looking at are very unhealthy. But how do you get to that unhealthy state? It's all these decisions that they've made, all this mismanagement that's taken place that has influenced the numbers. And when the numbers don't look healthy, the people start losing faith, especially quarter after quarter after quarter. If the numbers are not healthy, the people say, what on earth are you guys doing up there, right? So I spoke to this lady for a long time. I recorded it. I putting the videos out. I did most of the talking. But you will see how brutally honest I was with her. I said, you have to have that tough conversation. You have to be able to connect with your top brass and tell them as it is, right? It's like Vladimir Putin in Russia, right? So he's conducting this wars. The generals and the top military brass are telling him something, right? Oh, it's going fantastic. No, it's not, right? So, the communication between his generals and him as the apparent leader of Russia, it's not a healthy communication, right? It's a lot of fabrication and a lot of BS. And it's the same with these. I'm sure that there are people within management, middle and higher management, that are truly trying to make the best of Uber and Lyft. But when you look at the top dogs, right? When you look at the top brass at Uber and Lyft, the terrible decisions that they're making. James Flew says, not sure about DD, but DoorDash, but Uber Eats shoot the drivers in the foot as well as themselves. I'm constantly ranting and asking myself, are all these guys running this company stupid? You know, and James, you're right. I mean, we are talking Uber and Lyft. Same thing going on with DoorDash and Uber Eats, right? I mean, Uber, same company, right? Same leader, but there is no leadership on top. It's turmoil. It's chaos. There's no direction. Hiring and firing engineers, not being able to get the drivers back because they are not willing to address the fundamentals. Who else do we have in the house? Let us know what city. Phoenix, May is in the house. My house is still not built. Sweetheart, I bought a big piece of land. Come down to LA and we can start building together. I just bought a big piece of land next door to mine. So come down, bring your truck, your tools, your graders, your bobcats, your caterpillars, and let's get to work. Sunshine, Uber and Lyft won't be around for long. We need to be unionized. Very, very powerful statement there, Sunshine. Done deal. Come down. And tell me when you're coming, Phoenix. David V says, Lyft drivers can tell Lyft how to increase the stock price, but they won't listen to us. Thank you, David. Thank you for speaking. Look, what Uber and Lyft drivers know, never underestimate what they know, right? Never underestimate the help that they could offer or the suggestions that they're making to try and improve this company, right? Because if you would actually listen, you got these two little devices here, right? These two little elf ears or Spock ears, right? If they would actually use these organs, right? If they would actually listen. If you're starting Uber Crew and Uber Crew is interviewing thousands of drivers, if those Uber Crew members were actually listening to those thousands of drivers, what drivers really want and how they can truly help to improve the platform, but then Uber Crew comes out and presents you with these things that say, oh, we listened and now we are executing your suggestions. 99% of those suggestions are not even, I doubt they come from us, right? Or Uber Crew has no power with the executives. Maybe they approach and say, hey, the drivers want this, or the drivers suggest this. No, we can't do that. Might cost too much money, but there is a big disconnect. There is a massive, massive disconnect between San Francisco, California, and the rest of the world. Jonathan says, I could never reach my Uber Crew person. I'm not surprised, right? I'm grateful for your channel and being our voice. We are stronger together. Thank you, Sunshine. I mean, I truly believe that if we adopt this attitude of sticking together and fighting together, we're strong. We're very, very strong. I mean, can we influence the Lyft stock price as drivers? Pretty hard to do so, but we could at least share and make the suggestions and actually give them the tools, right? Because there are just some very, very basics that they could implement in the next 60 days that would keep them out of negative media, right? If they would actually address those many, many powerful suggestions that drivers made as far as safety goes, if they would address that and not be such hoes, right? Standing on the street corner, right? and pimping themselves out for every single dollar because it's more important to them to take a dollar from a criminal and a thug. You know, let anyone in the car, everyone get in the car. We don't care who you are. Could be a fucking rapist. You could be a sexual abuser. You could be a pedophile. You could be a domestic. You could have domestic violence. We don't care. We don't ask. We don't want to know your background. Just get in the fucking car so we can take your money. That's the attitude, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? You got to set boundaries, right? You cannot be on the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock news every single day in multiple cities because this is what happened over here. Oh, and this lady got shot in the head and this guy's car got stolen. You have to address that. And I said, Mrs. Leatherberry, don't you see? And she says, yeah, I'm in Philadelphia. I see it. Well, do something fucking about it, right? You're in Philadelphia. You see the shit every day. Do something. You know what is wrong. You're too afraid to make big decisions, right? You're too afraid to say no and cut off criminals and thugs because you could stop taking gift cards and prepaid cards, and you could start forcing them to put photos up. You could start forcing them to put their name up, right? You're demanding it from us. We demand it from them, Mrs. Leatherberry. Is it so difficult to make that decision? Is it so difficult to save lives? You have the power to save lives. She's in Philadelphia, right? Mrs. Leatherberry, you have the power to save lives in your city. And by implementing change and staying out of the headlines in Philadelphia, and by actually bringing trust back and safety back, it has a ripple effect. They're going to implement it in Chicago. They're going to implement it in Washington, D.C. They're going to implement it in Vegas. They're going to implement it in Miami. They're going to implement it in Los Angeles. And we create a safer environment because you were brave enough, you were bold enough to make some tough decisions, right? Right now, you will let every fucking criminal, excuse my French, you will let every fucking criminal in our car. And that, Mrs. Leatherberry, is unacceptable. And that is what has to be conveyed to your spineless, dickless leader, Dara Khosrowshahi, who does not know how to treat people, who does not know how to run and manage a company. And Mrs. Leatherberry, have you looked, I told her, have you looked at your stock price today? No. It's at $28 fucking dollars. Do something about it. Excuse me, but I gotta let it out. I gotta vent, right? For me, it's important that I get to swear and I vent. I know it's not the most gentleman way, right? I should be watching my F words and I should be maybe toning it down. But for me, if I'm passionate about it and I can see the problem, I can see the problem. I know how to fix it. Drivers know how to fix it. Delivery people know how to fix it, but they're not willing to fix it, right? And when this Philadelphia driver, myself, this Philadelphia driver and a higher management, a senior policy, Mrs. Leatherberry, and I like her. I am not putting this lady down. There's actually the first management person at Uber that I like. And, because the others are just fools and incompetent. This lady, genuinely, I felt like I connected with her, and my phone got so hot, the video got cut off, and I may not have captured all the real juicy parts, right? But I genuinely felt that this woman wanted to do something. And I said, the only way, Mrs. Leatherberry, that you get stuff done is by being bold and telling your leader, Dara Khosrowshahi, to actually pull his head out of his ass and wipe the shit out of his eyes so he sees the real world, right? He needs to see what is going on. And when Dara Khosrowshahi gets on a bicycle and does one food delivery, when Dara Khosrowshahi gets into an UberX vehicle and takes one trip and even screws up on that one trip, Dara, please don't tell me you understand the business after one food delivery and after one UberX trip that you screwed up. He actually screwed it up. He got the navigation wrong, right? So please don't tell me that you understand our business. You don't, right? You're not on the street like these drivers are for 5, 8, 10 hours a day, right? You're not hustling and doing dead miles here and trying to compete day to day with this algorithm who's constantly, this algorithm is working against you, and you have to constantly outsmart the algorithm, right? You constantly feel like, oh, it's a battle. It's a daily battle. You're up against an algorithm, you're up against a company, they're taking way too much out of your paycheck, and you still have to make it work, and at the same time you still try to stay safe, and at the same time you still try and avoid deactivations, right? So it's stressful. It's stressful right now with these gas prices, with this no safety, zero safety. It is stressful. Well, maybe more stressful in certain cities, right? Some drivers say, well, I'm doing great. It's not stressful. Maybe you're in a city where, there's not carjackings every single day. Vimala says the risk drivers take of accidents and tickets, the dollar seems decent until something happens. Well, and you guys will see, I teamed up for a video series with probably the top insurance guy in the industry that understands rideshare, and the CEO of Buckle, Buckle. If you can go to buckleupcom, check them out, right? And we did a series of videos together. I mean, what an intelligent man, right? Where I sit down with someone and we're in a recording studio, and I just have the uttermost respect for the person because he understands. I can see he understands the lingo of the driver. There was nothing I couldn't talk to about with this guy, right? And his name's Marty Young. Massive respect. And I vibe a person out in 5 minutes, and I know whether I disrespect them or whether I respect them. This guy is smart. This guy is dialed in. This guy knows. And he goes like, what these food delivery companies, and he just did not want to mention names. And I said, you got to mention the names. Don't be shy. Call them out. Is it Uber Eats? Is it DoorDash? She said, I'll leave the names out. I'm going to leave the names out. But he said, when you get into an accident and you're facing this $2,500 deductible, or if you're in food delivery and something goes on, there is no assistance at all. It's all on you, right? And it can break a driver. It can break a food delivery driver, right? When there's this one massive cost that, just like sometimes when I hate it when a transmission goes out. When a transmission goes out, oh my God, it's expensive, right? When you get into a car accident, it can get really expensive. And then you have a $2,500 deductible. So they understand, he comes from the industry, understands the industry, has a team together that actually talks and speaks the language of rideshare drivers. And you guys are going to see as they start rolling out, and as these videos that I've made with the CEO and the company, and Harry, the rideshare guy, by the way, is also involved with them. They're people that are genuinely trying to change the industry for the better. The Uber and Lyft CEOs, whether it's Logan Green or Dara Khosrowshahi or any, they're not trying to make the industry better, right? They're exploiting the industry. They're trying to see how much they can take from the industry, right? How much they can extract, how much blood can they extract from the industry. They're not there to make the industry better, right? They're constantly hiring people and putting teams of engineers together to try and outwit, to try and out-algorithm the hardworking people, right? And we're not stupid. We know what's going on a day-by-day basis, right? Like I made this video, you try to cash out your money, they're charging 50 cents. Well, if you're charging a premium of 50 cents, let the person cash out. Don't come with a message saying, oh, Which company says you made too much money this week? You can't access your money. I mean, seriously. Phoenix in the house. Hugs and kisses back to Phoenix. Cheers. I really appreciate you in the channel, Phoenix. I love your humor. I love your input. And stay with us. Part of a big family. Thank you for throwing down $199.99. So, my friends, how do we change the Lyft stock price? How do we change the Uber stock price? I'll tell you how we do it. We got to keep on shining the lights on the cockroaches. We got to keep on exposing their flaws, their faults, and what's wrong with the system. And we have to educate the public, and we have to educate the financial world that nothing will change unless change happens within the company, right? And change very often starts on top, right? Get rid of 3 or 4 of these CEOs. Always, I mean, you have my number, Phoenix, just text me, and I will gladly, I mean, I have so many conversations with people every single day. Have a private conversation, absolutely, anytime. Now, I'm picking a client up at 9 p.m., then I'm rushing back to Beverly Hills, and I would say in a 2-hour period, I'm charging them, it'll be about $350 plus tips. So I hope to get 420, which I consider good for 2 hours work, right? One short trip and one trip down to Beverly Hills. I drop the group off, go back, shoot back, bring them back. 2 hours to make, smash that button, says Mark. J4 Films is in the house, not including gas costs. Amen. Thank you for bringing that up. Gas costs, right? Real, right? Gas costs are real, right? Don't ignore them, Uber. Don't ignore them, Lyft. It's real. And if you're not addressing that problem, right? You see that my friends, this goes back. Thank you for smashing the like button. This goes back to the leadership, right? Let me try and explain calmly. I know today I'm pretty riled up, pretty angry, pissed off, used a lot of F words. Okay, I got to get it out, right? But let me be very calm when I tell you this. Boba's in the house. That if CEOs think that 45 cents and 55 cents is going to help a driver or delivery driver, is going to solve the problem, no, it's not. It actually makes things worse, because it just shows how much disrespect there is, right? It shows that they're not willing to help you through that problem. And the problem is called high gas prices. So if they are not willing to hold your hand and help you through some difficult times, how can you remain loyal? How can you trust? How can you respect a leader at that company when all they're doing is they're giving you 2 middle fingers? 45 cents is a slap in the face, right? 55 cents is a slap in the face. Does nothing, right? Tucson's in the house. Phoenix is probably, I don't know, her name is Phoenix. It doesn't mean she's in Phoenix. Maybe she's in Phoenix. But they don't understand that. They're not willing to address that problem. They're not willing to address the gas problem. And that is a sign of poor leadership. If you're not willing to look at the problem and address the problem, how can you call yourself a leader? How can you call yourself a leader? If you're a leader, you're supposed to be leading your people through difficult times, showing them the way, and getting through it together, right? You're going to have challenging times, high gas prices, COVID. A true leader will step up. Phoenix, Vegas. See, I told you, first name Phoenix, city, Viva Las. I'm coming to Las Vegas pretty soon, Phoenix. So maybe we meet for a lunch, a dinner, or a coffee. I'm going to be in and out of Vegas pretty soon in the next few weeks. But I hope that, look, I hope and pray that we get some fresh blood, some new leadership in there that says, okay, gosh, we've been ignoring all the comments, we've been ignoring all the input, we've been ignoring all the feedback from these millions of drivers, that you have some leader that maybe just taps into Main Street and sees what's going on, actually reads and understands what drivers are complaining about, or what drivers and delivery drivers need. What do they need, right? What are their needs and wants in order to create a happy driver, a happy gig worker, someone that proudly speaks about their company. Now, the 5 people that I had lunch with today, I took them to a really good restaurant in Santa Monica called Lattice. And these were my managers between 2000 and 2006. We had a reunion. I took them out. And all the managers showed up. And we're still friends 22 years later. We respect each other, right? Wow. So Boba says, my challenge this week is 88 rides for $230. That doesn't equate to much per ride. It's about $3 per ride. Sunshine says, watch Amazon. Their stock will be splitting soon. Uber and I mean, Amazon had some pretty bad losses. Their stock dropped quite a bit. But, you know, if they do split, that's definitely a stock. If Amazon goes down, I will buy into Amazon. You know, in these times when the stocks go down, then's the time to buy. If Uber and Lyft, if you believe in the company, you want to make money, maybe you wait for it to go down to 20, and it'll go back up to 35, 40 eventually. And if they have some good leadership, it has the potential to go to 50, 60, 70, right? But it's never going to see 70 under Dara Koshashawi or Logan Green. It won't. It won't. The people have lost faith in these assholes, right? Because they're not willing to pull their head out of their ass. They're still stuck in the darkness. They don't see that safety is real. They don't see that wrongful deactivations or false rider reports cost them so many good, talented drivers that are making the money. Wow. You texted me? Okay, I'm on that phone. Where's my other phone? Thank you. James Wakassis in the house. By the way, get yourself a display ride. I just took it down. This thing uploads all the footage directly into the cloud. Highly recommended. I always take one of these along, these JBLs, these big ones, because I have a lot of kids that I drive around, and it's easier for me to just hand this to them because they have some DJ who connects with the phone and they play their own music, and it's loud, right? That stops all the fiddling and all the crap reaching in. Chris Tyer's in the house. It'll be sub 20 of these 2 knuckleheads are still in here. 100% right, Chris. If those 2 knuckleheads stay in power, it's going to be sub 20. Jayful says, now I would do those 88 rides in 3 to 4 days and get that 230, bro. That's not bad compared for what I get. Okay, I'm with you. I mean, I probably don't understand I definitely don't understand your market as well as you do. But if you can knock out 88 trips out of the park in 2-3 days, you know, it sounds like you're committed. You're doing over 25 trips a day, and even more. You're probably doing 25 to 30 trips a day, and then you quickly attain those $230 extra. Good for you, right? So I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm arguing with you. I just thought that it would be nicer to maybe give you $350 or $400 for 88 trips, right? Wake, good question. Thank you for asking. Is your rideshare co-op still a goer? First answer, it's not my co-op, right? I advise and I consult for the guys in Canada, and I know that they are operating in 5 cities in Canada and collecting a lot of data, and that their intentions are to come to California, New York, and then roll out in the other cities. So I truly hope it takes place. I really do. I think it's a great model. They're good people, and their heart's in the right place. I've been working, consulting with them for years. So I hope to see a co-op succeed against these companies, right? Because right now, whatever these companies are doing, it's just simply not healthy. It's not healthy. We got 59 people in the house. I hope you all had an amazing weekend, whatever you did, whether you're out there making money or whether you chilled with your family. Hopefully your week started off well. Yesterday, Monday, today is Tuesday. Mr. Wax's safety is the biggest reason drivers aren't coming back. You know what? Amen. Thank you for speaking the truth. Why invite potential criminals into your car? Not worth it. So that is just such a powerful statement that I have to, I want to read it out again loud. Mr. Wax's safety is the biggest reason drivers aren't coming back. Why invite potential criminals into your car? And those 2 sentences that Mr. Wax just put out, and by the way, it's a cool name, Mr. Wax. You probably sell surf wax or some sort of wax, but a great name. But what I want to say, Mr. Wax, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for speaking the truth. And the second thing is that's precisely what Dara Khosrowshahi and Logan Green need to read. And they need to hear that, right? They need to read what Mr. Wax just wrote there, because this is the common theme right now. If you don't feel safe as a man or a woman, it's hard to get back in that car, especially in certain cities. And the lady, you'll hear a couple of sound bites. Her name is Mrs. Leatherberry. I just recorded it. I mean, I had 2 phones and I try to do my best. The audio is not going to be great. The picture's not going to be great, but it's more the content and the fact that I was able to speak to some higher management in a city, Philadelphia, and she actually cared, right? She cares about safety. She says it's shocking what's going on, right? And for someone not to try and sugarcoat it, but actually admit they have a problem and they need to fix it, that's powerful. Whether Dara wants to fix it is another thing, right? To convince your executives to spend money and maybe change some things on the app so that you stay out of the 9 o'clock news and the 11 o'clock news. They don't need those stories, my friends. They don't need those killings daily on the news. They don't need those cars. It's not good for them. It's not good for their public image, right? People tend to absorb all that negative press and say, that's not good. It's not good. Do I want to drive for them? I don't feel safe. Do I want to get in the car? It's not safe. So they are not addressing the problem, right? They are too afraid. Dara Khosrowshahi and Logan Green are too afraid to take on the big problems. Marks is 21 and a half hours online last week and made 919 Vegas. That's good. That's good. I mean, you're talking over $40 an hour, and Vegas is a good city. I have a lot of subscribers and followers and friends in Vegas. I've met with them. It's a good city. Crypto Light says, I got 20 minutes for a 5-minute ride looking out for us. Way to go, Uber and Lyft. Exactly. Jenny Gang says they do that on purpose, Boba. They know you'll break the streak and decline. Yep, you're right about that. They have perfected that algorithm against you, right? I'm looking at the watch right now. I am going to take a slow drive up and pick up my client's kid. That's good. Jayful, right? Yeah, that's flexing you. That's $40 plus $40 an hour. That's good. That's really, really good. That's impressive. Uber Jeep Arizona says 49 hours a couple of weeks ago for a payout of 2,297. That is impressive, my friend. That is truly impressive. And if you listen, if you're making the money and you're okay with the fact and you feel safe, some people don't feel safe, and you're okay going out there daily, am I live? Did I reconnect? Or am I offline right now? I just realized I'm heading up Calabasas, and I am. If I do lose the signal, I'm on. Okay, breaking up some. All right, I'm just gonna pull over here. Stuck on the 405. Kevin, the 405 has been horrible. I'm going to say goodnight, everyone, because I'm in an area where it's just gonna buffer all the time. There's just really bad cell phone reception. I want to say thank you to everyone tonight. Please, sharing is caring. Get the video out. Hammer them. There we are, Phoenix, and we shall talk. Good night, Mark. Good night, Uber Jeep Arizona. Good night, Phoenix. Good night, Scott Tucker. Have a great week, everyone. Please be safe. Much love and respect from my family to your family. And I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. And James in the house. Kevin, thank you. Crypto, thank you. I ask you just to be safe, man. Just be aware what's going on, which I know you are. Just stay safe. Like I really don't want to hear any more of these horror stories, right? So God bless you all. Appreciate you. Salute you. Thank you, and all the input, all the suggestions, all the feedback. I'm grateful for that. So I will see you in the next live feed, my friends. I got to go and make some money. Hustle. Make some cash, make some US dollars. Got a big holiday coming up in Europe. 7 countries. I'm going to be spending a boatload of money, 5 kids, mom and dad. So it's going to be expensive. So dad's got to hustle, got to go out and make some money. Have a good one, my friends. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Boba. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, everyone. Good night.